So you have your flock. Your flock is like more than 17 weeks. It's around 25 weeks. Your flock hasn't started laying eggs. Your flock is always getting sick and you don't even know what is wrong. There is no production, always sick, and most of your flock are always dying. Do you want to know what the problem might be? Have you vaccinated your flock? Do you know the diseases that you're supposed to vaccinate your flock against? In this video, we'll be discussing the different diseases that you're supposed to be vaccinating your flock against, what you should watch out for, and the importance of vaccinating. Hello everybody, this is your good Dr. Caroline, a professional medical doctor passionate about poultry farming and striving for financial freedom. So the first disease that you're supposed to vaccinate your flock against is Marek disease. What is Marek disease? So this disease is caused by a herpes virus. It is expressed as tumors in the chicken. So it attacks and infiltrates the lymphoid system of the chicken, resulting in paralysis of your chickens, right? So your chickens will later be paralyzed and lead to death, right? So they will have paralysis in their legs, their wings, and their neck. Sick chickens will die due to cachexia caused by the insufficient feeding during 7 to 20 days after the first symptom. So what you have to know is that the first vaccination is given at day 1. So usually when you buy your flock, you will find that they are vaccinated against Marek disease where you're buying, right? Or once your chickens arrive, you can vaccinate them against this Marek disease. So the vaccination is given through subcutaneous injection. So most suppliers of day-olds usually vaccinate these chickens before they deliver them to you. So what you have to do is to ask if the chicks have been vaccinated. The second type of disease is Newcastle disease. This disease is caused by a serotype 1 paramyxovirus, right? So it affects all types of birds, including the wild and the domestic birds, right? So what does it do? It induces a respiratory, digestive, and the nervous system. So the symptoms that your birds will be presenting with is respiratory side. The bird will be having sinusitis. They will also be having proventriculitis, right? The birds also present with paralysis, right? And also they can present with diarrhea. So when should you vaccinate your birds? So also they are vaccinated at day old. And then the mode of vaccination is via eye drops or spray. So the most important thing is that you should know that the birds at day old, you vaccinate against Marek disease and also Newcastle. So when you're buying your flock, remember to ask your supplier, are your birds vaccinated and what are they vaccinated against? And then if not vaccinated, then you would have to vaccinate them at arrival. Remember in one of our first videos, I told you about the importance of cleaning and disinfecting your chicken coop. Now this is why. The third disease I'm going to be talking about is the Gumboro disease, which we call it infectious bursa disease. So this is a virus which is main target is the lymphoid follicle of the bursa of fabricularis, right? So what you have to know about this virus is that it is highly resistant and can survive for several months in contaminated buildings. That is the reason why you need to clean and disinfect your building to avoid such instances, right? You can only notice the symptoms at 15 days of your flock, right? So the most important thing is that your vaccination, you will do it at 14 days, right? And then the mode of vaccinating, or the route of vaccinating, is through drinking water. So what your chickens will present with is that firstly, they will have ruffled feathers, whitish diarrhea. They will also have tremors. They'll be very sensitive to cold, and also they will have anorexia. As you can see on the postmortem of the chickens, we have hemorrhages under the thigh. There's an enlarged spleen. And also, if your chickens have started laying, they will lay malformed eggs. There will also be hemorrhages at the junction between the proventricular and the gizzards. Another disease is the infectious bronchitis disease. Now, this disease will teach you a lot about biosecurity, because now the virus causing this infection is the coronavirus. Reason why you must have biosecurity. Not just everyone can enter and leave your chicken coop as they please, right? So it affects all chickens. It causes loss in qualitative and quantitative drop in egg production. So if your chickens have already started laying, there will be drop in production of that, right? So it's an outbreak that occurs all around the world. So you have to be careful, diagnose it, and make sure that you vaccinate your chickens. So what are your chickens going to present with? So your chicken going to present with cough, with tracheal rail, nasal and ocular discharge, and also growth retardation due to drop in feed intake. So when do you vaccinate against infectious bronchitis disease, right? So you will give your vaccination on week 6, right? So how do you give it? You give it as fine spray. Now, these are the 4 main diseases that you're supposed to vaccinate against when receiving your chicken flock or during the vaccination program, right? The other diseases include infectious coryza, fowlpox, infectious laryngotracheitis, avian encephalomyelitis, right? So make sure that you have a program that is according to your country and the diseases that are common in your region, all right? Another thing that is very important is that you need to know that there is no one size fits all when it comes to creating your own vaccination program, right? So each farm must have their own specific program, which is dictated by the following: the type of production that you have, right? Are you keeping broilers or are you keeping layers, right? The health status of the farm. So meaning that which diseases have already been encountered in the farm. Is this a new farm, right? Another thing is the health status of the country in which you reside, right? So which diseases are present in the vicinity of your farm and also in the country that you reside in, right? The level of protection on your farm. The most important thing is biosecurity, guys. Make sure that you implement biosecurity, right? And also the level of safety required by the farmer. So those are the things that you have to consider when developing your own vaccination program to protect your flock and for you to be able to scale, for you to be able to grow. So catch you on the next episode, guys. Love ya.